We are just a couple of months away from Notre Dame kicking off its 2026 football season, and they will do so in the Shamrock Series against Wisconsin. And on what is today? Wednesday morning, we got the first look at those jerseys in a social media post produced by Notre Dame. Marcus Freeman narrated video. And then the look at the jerseys. Tyler Horka, I like them. I think they're unique and clean, but also like modern but with history attached to them. I think this is a 10 out of 10. What do you say?
Yeah, 10 out of 10. I mean, obviously that's a perfect score. I don't think anything is perfect, but I really like these things too. I think that Notre Dame has gone with less flashy Shamrock Series uniforms of late and kind of leaned into, like you were saying, traditional, maybe a little minimalistic. Like these look really similar to the ones that they wore in Yankee Stadium against Army a couple years ago. I think the numbers are a little bit better. They popped, or easy, a little bit more easy to see. And then I like anything that doesn't mess with the gold helmet. Like you got to start there. And I did an article, go to blueandgold.com, and you could check out every Shamrock Series jersey of all time since the inception of these things in 2009. And you'll see like a Shamrock logo or a Leprechaun logo on the helmet. Don't do that. Give me the gold helmet. And then you go from there. And like you said, Mike, it's nice. It's clean. It looks good. And then if you go to the other article that we have on blueandgold.com about this uniform itself, and you're showing the viewers there as well, you see some of the things that come into play with there's a little nugget on the numbers that ties back to Green Bay. The sleeves tie back to Green Bay. There's a lot of really cool things that tie into this particular game itself. I like them. 10 out of 10, I'm not sure, but I'm talking 8, 9, like a high number. Anyone that thinks that these things stink, come on, you're just being mad to be mad at nothing.
Yeah, I like them. Yeah, and that's look, they're nice, right? They're nice. Like I said earlier, they are unique and have a lot of like neat things to them and nods like to the America patch for the 200 our 250th anniversary of independence and all those things. So there's that element, but it's not too flashy. So I think it's I don't know. It's hard to like hit modern feel and clean with also like old school, and I think they just did that.
Some of them
well.
in the past look like my 3-year-old nephew just got a box of markers and started scribbling. These are not that. I like the clean element to these.
And Notre Dame's history for these Shamrock Series games, I mean, they perform pretty well.
Undefeated. So that they have that going for them. And then you're like, okay, well, some of them are against Army, multiple of them are against Army, but Notre Dame also played a ranked Arizona State team a decade ago, played Miami, and like you expect Miami to be good every single year, but that year they just so happened to not be, and it was a 41-3 victory for Notre Dame. So it's not like the Irish are trying to schedule cupcakes in this thing every year. I think Wisconsin is a perfect example of that. With Luke Fickell, this team is supposed to be, top half of the Big Ten, but of late they've been struggling. So it's not Notre Dame's fault, and I expect the perfect record in this thing to continue. I think we all do.
What's your favorite Shamrock Series jersey?
These honestly gave everything else a run for the money. Again, if you have anything on the helmet that's not a gold helmet, I'm out. So that eliminates the Yankee Stadium one from about a decade ago where they literally looked like the New York Yankees. I wasn't really about that some of the green ones in the past where you're manipulating too much, I'm not about that. I like the last 3. I think Notre Dame's gotten the last 3 right. That is the 2022 one against BYU, the all white. That was clean. The one that I mentioned at Yankee Stadium most recently looks a lot like this one, clean. And then, my thoughts on this one. So I don't know, Mike. I think my hot take is that these are my favorite. Maybe it's recency bias or whatever, but I really like these 2026 ones.
My favorite right here. They're just so fun and unique. I don't know. I've always kind of liked them, but I feel like the more I see them, the more I don't like them. But anyways, let's move along. Tyler, you guys have been doing these, different, article ideas for a countdown. So this one was 61 days until Notre Dame football. I believe you posted this yesterday. The case for Sullivan Absher at right guard. Folks can read this article at blueandgold.com. So if Charles Jagusah is healthy and ready to go for that Shamrock Series game against Wisconsin, he's the starter. I mean, the guy, if healthy, like even if he misses the first few games and then can come back middle of the season and then plays all season and is back to 100%, I think Charles Jagusah is a first-round pick. That might be a hot take. I don't know. You guys can roast me in the comments, but just from what I've heard from sources around the program, that's how much he's viewed as a talent. But if he can't go, then you're looking at Sullivan Absher. Make the case for him. Make the case against him, Tyler.
Yeah, so tying it back to the countdown article, it was 61 days until Notre Dame football, and Sullivan Absher played 161 pass blocking snaps last season. That's the case for him. He's got the experience. Billy Schrauth goes down. Billy Schrauth, as we've seen, is going to be an NFL player. Sullivan Absher comes in and starts the final 5 games of the regular season. The other 2 guys, you mentioned Charles Jagusah being one of them, Matty Augustine being the other, that can feasibly start for Notre Dame at that right guard spot this year. They've played a handful of games in their careers. Now, Augustine is obviously only a second-year player, but Jagusah is a 4th-year player, and he's only played in 5 games. Absher's played in 5 games. 5 games. Absher's played in 23. He's made the 5 starts last season. The case for Sullivan Absher is the experience. But again, if Jagusah is healthy and can play football, Absher's not starting over him. But if you're looking at it, Absher versus Augustine, you might give the nod to Absher because of the experience, even if Augustine has the higher upside. I think fall camp is going to be big for both of those players. The way I see it, Notre Dame is going to let Absher be the incumbent of sorts and say, all right, we're going to throw you out there first team to start this thing. But we've seen Joe Rudolph. If he likes the upside of a player and the potential of the player, he will side with that and he will go with that and he'll put that player in. So Absher Augustine is going to be one of the more fun things to watch in preseason camp.
Yeah. And we actually had last night on our live show, Landon Tangle, he was talking about Absher versus Augustine. And, he had mentioned how good he thought Absher was as a pass protector. And I was like, really? Like, only reason I'm surprised by that is he just didn't do that at the high school level. Like, he came in as a complete ball of clay when it came to him as a pass blocker to Notre Dame, because he just didn't do it at high school. They ran this wing T offense. I think they threw the ball 2 or 3 times a game. So that's good to hear. So when you mentioned the 161 pass blocking snaps, my mind went to right away, well, what was his PFF grade? Now, PFF's not everything, so I pulled up your article. 71.1 might not sound good. That's actually pretty strong. Anything in the 70s, PFF uses great. Again, or I would say good. Maybe 80s is more of the great, but 71 is solid in a decent sample size, and only 4 Irish offensive linemen had that mark beat, as you put in that article. So I think that's something to not scoff at. Again, PFF's not everything, but I think 71.1 is a solid little number there for him.
And if I remember correctly, Matty Augustine's was higher than that. So he's one of the 4 offensive linemen that was better, but small sample size.
21.
And if you eliminate him from the equation, then you're talking about only 3 Notre Dame starters who had a better pass blocking grade, like starters from the beginning of the year. Obviously, Absher was a reserve that came in, but only 3 of those guys who you thought were Notre Dame's top 5 offensive linemen last year had a better pass blocking grade than Sullivan Absher.
All right, folks, hit the thumbs up on this video. Subscribe to the Blue and Gold YouTube channel. I'm sure if you're 8 minutes into watching this, you've already commented your thoughts about the Shamrock Series jerseys. But if you have not yet, let us know. Yell at me about me liking the jerseys and you don't like them, or yell at Tyler for not liking the pinstripe ones, whatever the case may be. Just yell at us in the comments. We'll appreciate it. But all seriousness, folks, hit that thumbs up. Go to blueandgold.com for more content. And as always, we will catch you next time.